thought that if you have a WM experience or being working as a part of end user in WM, then it's
Yeah,
good for you to understand the things more easily. Then, so
yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
And
So
I
how?
have,
Hmm?
yeah, sorry.
No, no, go
In the
ahead.
meantime,
Yeah.
actually, just some videos I have seen, even in Udemy and all. In that Udemy, I have completed one end-to-end session with this.
EWM.
I Yeah, in
Hmm.
EWM, but that one is a little faster, and if I have any questions, I could not able to get the information as and when I needed. That's the reason actually I'm taking the course, and more hands-on experience will be there if I have the software too.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Okay. So
access is also an
so
important part. That's the
so
reason.
how?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you find the course EWM? Means uh, from Udemy. I think. Yeah. So was it
Yes, I
similar
talked to
to
one of my. Yeah.
the WM, or it is little tricky, or something really new for you to digest in one go
Uh,
from Udemy?
WM I have not done actually. EWM only I have taken actually.
Okay,
After
okay, okay.
SAP MM course, I never done the
And how many years of experience you have in SAP? Raghu?
say about 6, 7 years. 7 years before I have done MM,
Okay,
and afterwards I didn't do. I was into the business, and later on, from past 2 years, I'm in the company where they use SAP EWM.
okay, that's great. That's good. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's really nice. Okay, thanks, Raghu, for your give a background about you. So let me give my background. Okay, so I'm Nitin. Okay, I based out in Pune. And sorry, from where you based out? Means in India or
Um,
outside India?
Now I'm located in outside India. Actually, I'm in Canada.
Okay, you are in Canada. Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so to give my background about, okay, so I'm Nitin and I based out in India, and in India I'm in Pune actually. Okay, in total I have around more than 11 years of experience in SAP. Okay, so I started my career in SAP MM, and then gradually I moved into SAP WM, then SAP Logistics Execution, and SAP EWM also. Okay, so I've done a lot of implementation in SAP MM. Okay, then in warehouse management also now I've done around 3 or 4 implementation. So one of the big implementation that I've done is for Siemens. Okay, and
Mhm.
then in EWM actually I've done around 3 implementation. Okay, so it's more to be a business oriented company that I'm working with. So they have no different sites where we have no implemented EWM. One is Sweden, another is China, and the third one is Poland, where we have done that.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
and presently I'm into transportation management also, but that is not SAP transportation, but it's more to be
Mhm.
Oracle transportation management (OTM). So it's kind of SAP and OTM integration where I'm working with. I'm taking care of implementation of European region. And from
Okay.
WM point of view, I've done implementation in Indian Railways, MMWM
Oh,
implementation in Indian Railways, then a few implementation based out in Denmark. Okay, that is for Scandlines. Then
okay.
one implementation for Siemens. Few couple of rollouts, around 42 rollouts that I've done for Indian Railway sites, and some government PSUs projects also.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
likewise, it's a good journey so far for me to
Yeah.
learn SAP. Okay, and looking forward for some more understanding on SAP EWM, WM, MM. So since it's not the learning keep going on. So I'm going with that pace on. So that's the only update I have with
Yeah.
me so far.
Okay, Nitin.
On
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And good to know that actually you worked more with the European companies as well as China. So the logistics part and supply chain part will be most from China to what rest of the world. So you dealt with the operations with China. That's very good.
Yeah. Okay. So now coming to this no EWM, so I'll just know sharing my screen and I'll just take you through some of the course content of this. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can able to see your screen here.
Okay. Okay, so this course content will be of 20 days. Okay, the structure that I have prepared. If you want to know increase the number of days, you can do that. Means if you think that the pace that we are going up with is really fast and it's little difficult to deal with. Okay, in a particular course content structure, then
Yeah.
we can extend for 3 to 4 days. Okay, depending on the amount of activities that we are performing. Okay, in the demo sessions. Then whatever the course that I have designed, okay, in this particular slides, it is as per the SAP course content. Okay, course structure. So generally now people come up or students come up with two different type of approach. One is they only want to do the certification. Another is basically they want to look for the process kind of knowledge. Okay, since
Yes.
EWM
Yeah.
is more to be a process oriented approaches, so generally we got people who are interested in to know the process knowledge also. But even if we go with the SAP course content, okay, the number of topics, the processes will be covered automatically in that. Okay,
Mhm.
then of course there will be a system demo in this. Okay, so considering the
Yeah.
course content, okay, so I'll be starting with the basic warehouse structure that I understand that you will be very well aware of it,
Yeah.
that what is the warehousing structures and the master data, and
Yes.
how gradually SAP moves from WM to EWM. Okay, and what would be the organizational structure change of EWM. Okay, that is there. Then the
Mhm.
EWM master data, that what all master data that we basically use in EWM. Okay, then in the day two, because it would be a first day, then I generally thought that it should be always a lighter session on the very first day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Then then second day will be a very basic understanding on the good reset and good issue process. Okay, so it's a kind of pictorial representation of that, how the good resets perform in EWM and how the goods issue perform, because it is not as simple as warehouse basic warehouse that we have SAP WM. So we have
That's right.
lot of processes in between. Okay, and based on the process, the system moves from one part to another part, or from one process to another process. So
Mhm.
we'll look into the basic. It will not be a very in-depth, because in-depth topics will be covered later. Okay, but it's a very basic. Okay, just to give a very vanilla kind of flow of how the good reset
Mhm.
and good issue process works. Then
Yeah.
a basic understanding of warehouse monitoring and the mobile devices. It's still a basic. Okay, to understand the vanilla structure or understanding of how the warehouse monitoring look like and all. Then a third day will be a little getting into the system. Okay, so we'll do a deep dive into the system in order to have a basic integration setup. Okay,
Mhm.
either it is a decentralized or it is a HANA. Okay, in both the cases we
Okay.
need the integration setups. Okay,
Yeah.
for the system. So
Here,
we'll
can
go
I
into
ask you a question?
yes,
Sorry.
yes, go on. Yeah, please.
Here, actually, ECC and HANA. So it is a HANA is what my understanding is a HANA is the embedded system
Yes,
between two systems, right?
yes. HANA is embedded.
So if you go to SPRO settings, actually we can see the all the things in one system itself. It's called
One
the
system
embedded
itself.
system.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
that's called HANA. That's a HANA. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. If it is not the embedded, if it is separate, then we can see two systems like ECC is separate and warehouse management separate, right?
Yes, ECC and AWS would be separate one, and we call it as a
ECC and
decentralized.
AWS. Decentralized, centralized, and decentralized.
Yes.
Okay.
So generally, big companies, they work on the decentralized systems. So there is a difference that why they go with the decentralized and not with the S4 HANA kind of, because
Mhm.
S4 HANA is simply a one system. Okay, so there is a high chance that there is no if the system goes down, then the entire setup will get down. Okay, and it is a
Yeah.
one plant and one warehouse kind of approach, that if we have only one plant and one plant has only one warehouse, then there is no point of not distributing the things into different channels and all.
Yeah.
Generally, for decentralized means that we have different plants and all those plants are dealing with one central warehouse. Okay, so each plant is sending the request to the plants, and then plants are basically delivering the material. No, sorry, the warehouse are delivering the material to those plants. Suppose
Yeah.
there is a big company that has 10 plants and they have a centralized warehouse system. Okay,
Yeah.
somewhere outside
Yeah.
outskirts of city. So then, to
Mhm.
fulfill the demand of all those plants are sending the request to the centralized warehouse management system, because that is quite big, and they are fulfilling the demand by good issuing the things. So for those
Mhm.
scenarios, we are using decentralized. Means it is disconnected with the actual ECC system. Even if the ECC is down, that your decentralized EWM system is running up. Okay, and based on the scenarios or based on the business requirement, that we have a very big setup where we are not dealing with the different plants, and all plants are basically sending the request to one warehouse. For those cases, we are using decentralized kind of. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's why this decentralized and ECC come into the picture, or S4 HANA. Even if you look nowadays, if you check SAP sites, they are also coming up with very crisp solution of WM. Okay, where they are
Mhm.
basic processes only. Okay, since EWM is
Yeah.
little complex as compared to
Yeah.
warehouse management, so that's why some of the users or some of the business do not require such a very complex systems of EWM. So
Complex systems.
SAP,
Yeah.
yeah, SAP come up with very basic and very crisp solution of WM, where there are only 15 to 16 processes only that actually help
Mhm.
small warehouses or small companies to run their business like.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
So if it is, sorry, if it is a different warehouses, if say about 4 to 5 warehouses are there, and if
Mhm.
one is using SAP and the other one is using non-SAP, then that's actually they will go with the decentralized one, I
Sorry,
think.
Raghu, I didn't get your question.
Okay.
Can you
Say
please come again? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the four, if say about 4 to 5 warehouses is there, distribution centers
Mm-hmm.
are there, and
Mm-hmm.
one distribution center is dealing with the online orders, one distribution center is dealing with the, if they have different stores, they're dealing with the different stores. The online setup is with the SAP, and non-online setup, non-online only the distribution to the stores is with the other non-SAP system. So
Mm-hmm.
in that scenario, actually, they will be having the decentralized system, I think, right?
Decentralized means it will be running on SAP only. Suppose consider a case that we have, as I said, that we have 5 plants, okay, or 5 plants have their 5 storage location, and those storage location are connected to one central warehouse only. Okay, and that in that central warehouse, I have now implemented EWM, and that will be distributed. Means whenever I'm
Mm-hmm.
creating a kind of request to the decentralized will receive the request. Okay, and then they will issue the material. So it's only one EWM or WM system, sorry, one ECC and EWM system that is now implemented in all the plants and the central warehouse. So if there is means, even though if there are no some other warehouses that are not working on SAP, then how
Yeah.
it's a kind of like PIPO integration that we can do and distribute the materials, the data like IDOC that we generally use. Okay, suppose one warehouse is EWM or working on SAP, while no other fours are working on some other logistics system or warehouse management system, then how we can now integrate between these 3 or 4 systems? So if you want to integrate, you can use IDOCs also, but we cannot now implement. Means that is the way that we can go.
That is a way. Actually, that is a IDOC, and we have to implement that one.
Yes, but the scenario also now it's little tricky that you have said that no, we have 4 warehouses and we want to connect between these four warehouses. Generally, we do not connect, one warehouse with another warehouse, because if I have one plant, okay, and one plant is connected to one warehouse only, because one plant is assigned to a storage location, and that storage location is assigned to one warehouse. Okay, so generally, plant is sending the request to that warehouse only that is connected to the storage location. Okay, so he will not send the request to some other warehouse that is not on ECC, and that warehouse will send a request to the original warehouse. You understand? Means it's little tricky scenario. Means I've never heard such kind of scenarios, but yes, if you want to connect between, or you want to set up a connection between all those four warehouses, then we can use the IDOC setup or PIPO integration setup in order to get the information from them, like third party logistics and all, you can say. So generally, third-party warehouses, they deals like this. Means if I have DB Shankar kind of third-party logistics, and whenever my plant is sending a request, so they send a request to DB Shankar. DB Shankar, they retrieve the material or pick the material from the store. So the moment they pick the material from the store, we get the information in our ECC system that the third-party logistics have picked the material. Okay, then once they good issue the material, then again an IDOC will be triggered, and that IDOC will not get captured in our ECC system. That will give an update that yes, now the good issue has been happened from the DB Shankar. So you can get the updates of each and every activity that is performed by the third party logistics. Okay, if you do not have that robust warehouse, or you do not have that material with you in your warehouse, and generally those materials are not captured or stored by third party, so in that particular case we can have the connection, and then that connection is done basically by the IDOCs or PIPO setup that you have to set in between, kind of.
Oh, that's what may be happening actually. Where I'm working now, they have based on in both locations have worked. In one location, they're using Manhattan warehouse management system. Other warehouse, they are using the SAP EWM.
Manhattan is really good. I got an opportunity to work on Manhattan for a few months only.
Warehouse management system is connected to actually, the stores is using the SAP for SD SAP. They are using. They will get the information to warehouse in that through Manhattan warehouse management system. All the things will go actually whatever the requirement is there, store's requirement is there, it will fulfill through that one. See that integration, and the different integration is the other location. Actually, in other location, they have the online orders. Online orders will trigger, and it will show up in EWM, and it will create the tickets. Based on the tickets, it will fulfill the requirement of the orders. So that's what is happening. That's why I'm a little bit confused. Actually, where this HANA will exactly work, that is an entirely different system, and this is an entirely different system. In our company, whether they are using the HANA or ECC, I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
You got my point actually. I don't know. Yeah. So actually, for learning, is it good to go for the HANA or ECC?
Means it's all up to you. Means what you actually want. Yes, you want to go with.
That's, like actually that scenario, whatever is there, whatever I'm working now, I explained to everything. So just to move into that same company and the same, higher levels, which one they're using, I'm not sure actually, HANA
or decentralized. You mean to say?
Yeah, decentralized.
Actually, to be on the honest note, Raghu, both are actually same. Okay, there is no difference between SAP, HANA, and EWM. There is very little difference in between. Okay, only one or two process steps get reduced in SAP S4 HANA, whereas for SAP EWM, now there are the few documents additional documents that gets triggered in the system, because whenever I'm not creating any outbound delivery request. Outbound delivery means I want to pick the material from my store. So one outbound delivery will be created in ECC, that is our simple SAP ECC system. Okay, and then it will be distributed to EWM, because as I said that EWM is decentralized. Okay, I'm talking about the decentralized case. That my warehouse is situated somewhere else. Okay, it's not connected to my plant. It's not on the same premises where my plant or manufacturing plant is. Then then in that EWM system, that there is one more document that gets generated of outbound delivery, and then with that outbound delivery, there is another document that gets generated. Okay, before taking the material from the store. And then once two documents that get generated, then the warehouse task or request now gets generated in the system. That's a difference.
Oh, that's the difference. Okay.
That's the difference.
In the centralized, actually, one document will directly go to the centralized distribution center, and from there, the requirement will get fulfilled.
Yes, because there should be a sync between ECC and EWM. So the moment I create one outbound delivery, so the same number will get reflected in your EWM system as an outbound delivery. But that is belongs to ECC. But within that EWM, it will generate its own outbound delivery request. Okay. With reference to the ECC outbound delivery. So once the request is generated, then only we can create a warehouse request, and against those warehouse requests, we can create warehouse tasks to pick the material from the warehouse. So likewise, it works. Whereas in S4 HANA, the moment I create an outbound delivery, the same outbound delivery gets reflected in S4 HANA. That is same, and there is no additional outbound delivery that will be created. Okay, specific for EWM. Okay, so right away it will create a warehouse task, warehouse request, and warehouse task to pick the material. So that is the only difference between these two. Whereas the configuration point of view and other things, both are same. Okay, there is slight difference in between these two, but that is fine. Generally, big companies, they actually follow decentralized, but I need to go more into understanding of your processes, that what all your processes is, so that I can recommend which process you can go. Because even now the potential that EWM centralized has, the same potential as for HANA has. Okay, so generally in our company also, okay, where the MFS is working. So in one of our site, the MFS is working on it. Okay, that is the conveyor system, I would say. So there they are using S4 HANA. So why they are using S4 HANA? We have the plant over there and we have the warehouse there only. Okay. So to pick the materials. Okay. Whereas for some other sites where we have implemented decentralized, so the production plant and the actual warehouse is now pretty far from each other. So that's why.
Oh, okay. I got it. Actually, whatsoever it may be, but centralized or decentralized. So if we learn S4 HANA, then it will be useful for both.
Yeah, it will be useful for both. Yeah, but for decentralized, we have to do some little more configuration from the integration point of view. Okay. Because it is little tough, and that's why it has a good weightage in the market. Okay. Yeah. So coming to this integration setup, so we'll be doing the ECC and EWM integration. That will be common for both. Either you are picking S4 HANA or decentralized. It will be common for both. Okay. Only one or two step is there is a difference between one or two step only. Then delivery document integration, because we are creating outbound delivery, inbound deliveries with EWM. So that's a kind of setup for integration we have to do, because in ECC we have no inbound delivery document type like LR and other things, ER, LR. So those integration we have to done with the EWM also. Then the number ranges. So whatever the inbound and outbound deliveries that we are created in EWM, okay, then we have to set up the number ranges for those also. Then structural element. Okay, so we have an organization structure, that how that structural element will work, like how to create a storage bin, work centers. Okay, then how to transfer the data from ECC to EWM. So if you are picking S4 HANA, then this part is not required, like SIFing. So SIFing is basically worked in decentralized only, because we want to send the master data from ECC to EWM. So we have to set up this SIFing structure over there. So that part will not be included in S4 HANA. So that is direct. So the moment you create any customer data or vendor data or material master, directly it will now start reflecting in EWM also, because it is the same system. There is no decentral or decentral or separate system. Then creating product master data and packaging specifications. Okay, so in EWM we generally work mostly in packaging, okay, handling units and all.
That's right.
So that part we will be taking care in this. Then day 5 we will be working on the warehouse process types, that since this EWM is purely a process oriented
Yes.
approach. So we will be
Yeah.
working on the process types. There are different process types
Yeah.
that we align with the
Definitely.
material master. Okay, that how the
Yeah.
process will drive through this. Okay, or how the material will drive in the warehouse using what process. So those process types we basically assign. Then within this EWM, we have two important points under the process-oriented storage approach. One is the POS, that is process-oriented storage control. Another is layout-oriented storage control. Okay, so
Hmm.
what is the difference and how it works? We will look into this, because suppose you want to do a good reset. So first, the truck will land up at your doors, and from door you are doing the initial staging, and then from the initial staging it will go to the quality inspection. From the quality inspection it will go to the value added services area. Or before that also, the moment unload the material from the doors, it will do the deconsolidation. If you receive a very big pack, okay, of a mix
Hmm.
of material, and before putting those material into the warehouse or into the storage type, what you want,
Yeah.
to just deconsolidate it. Okay,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
suppose you have got a big pack of cricket kit, where you have the helmet, you have the ball, you have the wickets, you have pads. So before putting into the storage bin, what you want, to just segregate all those. So that process we known as a deconsolidation. And after deconsolidation, you want to take it to the quality inspection to check the quality. And once you've done the
Hmm.
quality, and before putting into the final storage bin, you want that you can do some labelings, so that it should
Yeah.
be now represent with your company names. Okay, so you do some labelings, or you do some extra stitching, or some other company stamps you want to put. So that is known as value added services. So before putting the material into the final storage bin, if you want to drive through a different processes, then we basically use this process oriented and layer oriented storage controls. Okay,
Hmm.
so this is how the information works in AWM. Whereas in WM, it was quite easy. Once you do the good reset, it will not directly
Then it will
goes
go
to
to the
the storage
bin.
type, the final
Correct.
storage type.
Yeah.
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 So
That's right. Yeah.
that is the difference, and that is the magic of EWM. Okay, you can
Okay.
go to each
Yeah.
and every processes, and the system will
Different
do the
processes.
monitoring. Yes.
Okay.
Then warehouse order creation and the order creation rules. So generally we create warehouse orders and order creation rule while doing the outbound deliveries. So how it works, we'll look into that. Okay. Then
Hmm.
here comes the major or main processes. One is the good reset process. Okay, how the good reset works. As I said, that inbound flows. What is the inbound flow of your company, or what is the inbound flow of my company where I have not done the implementation? We'll discuss on this. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whether
Okay.
it is will it do the deconsolidation, or after deconsolidation where it goes to quality inspection, and from quality inspection to the final bin, or it will go to some value added services and then come to the final storage bin. So kind of
Hmm.
activities generally perform in good reset processes. And then what kind of put away strategies we basically use in this. Okay, so there are different put away strategies that we have,
Yeah.
like previous WM ECCWM module. So same strategies we have, but those strategies work a little different. Then example with pause and loss that we will be covering over here. Okay. Then
Hmm.
outbound delivery is we will be covering two topics. One is the simple outbound delivery, that whenever we have a request to deliver the material to the customer, then how system behaves, what all strategies we can use, and how the system will pick the material from the stores. Okay, so that we will look. And then there is another important thing is the wave management. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can look into this wave management also, that how it works, because it's simply clubbing of deliveries at a particular time, and against that deliveries it will pick the materials. It's as simple as
Okay.
that. So we are now
Hmm.
creating different waves, like from 9, because every new deliveries of warehouse, people cannot go into the warehouse and now pick the material, and then again once they drop the material at the outbound staging area, then again they receive another material request. So
Yeah.
generally in the big warehouse, what they do, they basically set up a time like between 9 to 12, 9
Yeah.
a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay,
One way.
what all deliveries will be now created, it will be consolidated and create against one wave. So those
Yeah.
information, or those deliveries will be received by the warehouse operator, and then he will go into the warehouse, pick all those deliveries, okay, and bring it
Yeah.
to the outbound delivery area. Then the next cycle is from the 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So against
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those time period, whatever the deliveries that will be created, it will be consolidated. So that is the power of wave management. Then again,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
two-step picking process, how it works, that we will look. Then
Mhm.
posting change and replenishment. So replenishment is quite important. Okay, from the company point of view, that generally in every organization I've seen this process. Most of the organization
Mhm.
replenishment.
Yeah,
So within
yeah.
replenishment, we have no different type of replenishments. We will see. Okay, how the replenishment works. Then physical inventory and the slotting process. So physical
Yeah,
inventory is, we all know that what is counting of materials and all that, but how it works
yeah.
in EWM, that we will look. Then slotting process is kind of automation. Okay, that system will automatically propose all the storage type in the material master based on certain condition records that will defining in the system. So it will
Mhm.
optimize your system, okay, in order to pick the materials. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is system driven. But generally I've never seen, in some of our sites, we are not using this slotting process. We basically define our own picking strategies and all. But
Yeah.
yes, that is also an important topic. Then
Slotting means actually that slotting will be come under any barcode will generate or how
no,
only
not for the
slotting.
barcode. It's basically kind of it's optimize the way system basically picks the material. So in your material master, generally in warehouse, what you have seen in WM module, ECC WM module, in warehouse views, okay, warehouse view 1 and 2, we basically add the storage type, right? Picking
Hmm.
storage type and put away storage type, put away storage
Yeah,
indicators. So what it does,
yeah.
so it basically give the priority to the material where the material should go, okay, to which
Oh, yeah.
storage type it should go. So same
Hmm.
way, this slotting works. Within slotting, what we are doing, we are now adding the storage type, picking strategies and put away strategies. So those strategies will be not driven by the system. Instead of, because in warehouses there are no thousands of materials, suppose 50,000 materials. So in each and every material, you will not go and add those strategies. So what you want that system should drive those things. Okay,
Yeah,
based
yeah, yeah.
on the system intelligence, system will drive all those things, and system will place its algorithms and logic, and then propose which is the best strategy for this material and where it should go. So that basically works on certain master records and the condition records that we generate in the system.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so
Now I
that is
understood.
slotting.
Actually, based
Yeah.
on based on the height, weight, capacity, the size of the
Yes, yes,
material.
yes,
If it is a racking or bulk area, if it is on bin or a particular
yes,
storage area. Okay,
yes, kind of.
racking and all. Okay, mainly that slotting. That one is useful in put away rather
Put
than
away and
picking
picking.
and
Generally,
picking.
it's for cooking. Put away is the major part. Yes, and
Yeah.
picking also you can use for this.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Then we have production integration. Okay, so how this production integration has means how we can integrate with the production sites. Okay,
Hmm.
in EWM, so it works on that. So we have two kind of approaches in EWM as of now. One is the delivery based. Okay, so where we are
Yeah.
creating an outbound delivery. Okay, for
Yeah.
any production
Right.
component requests. Okay, so whenever we are requesting for the components to pick the material from the warehouse, system will create a
Mhm.
delivery. Those deliveries will
Yeah.
be then triggered to EWM, and EWM will receive those deliveries, and then it will create a warehouse request or warehouse task to pick the material from
Hmm.
the warehouse. Whereas there is another approach, that is advanced production integration. Okay, so the moment I create a component request from ECC, it will be now
Hmm.
distributed to EWM via RFCs. Okay,
Hmm.
so automatically it will start reflecting in EWM. Okay, and then against those production integration request, it's generally called it as production integration or material production integrating request, kind of numbers get generated, and against those we are now taking the material from the store. So there are two kinds of approach that we generally
From
use.
the MRP, you mean?
Not from the MRP, but generally how the production works. Because whenever suppose we receive, MRP is basically initial stages. So
Hmm.
whenever I want a material to be produced, okay, so based on the MRP or based on certain factors like forecasting and other approaches, my MRP will run, and MRP will run, and MRP will tell that how many materials I need to create. okay, as a finished goods. And against those finished goods, if there is any dependency on the raw materials, then those raw materials will start, planning under the MRP in the requirement planning kind of. And then
Yeah, that's
and then we basically start the production. So against those production for a particular material, we can check the BOM and the dependent materials, and then we identify that few of the materials are already placed in the warehouses. So for those materials, what we do, we basically create a component request. Okay, so all
yeah,
those components will be helpful to create the finished material. Where there are some materials that are not in the store, so against those materials, what we do, we basically create the purchase order and bring it from the vendors, right? So
yeah,
the only two kind of things we have: either we have to bring the material from the vendor, or there are few materials that are already lying in the stores that we are going to pick up and now will be helped to create the finished material. So that is the
yeah,
production scenario. So whenever I schedule the production, or whenever I release the production order, the system will create those component request, okay, to bring the material from the stores. So once the request is generated, then those requests will be sent to EWM, because my entire warehouse is now working on EWM. Okay, so those requests will
yes,
be sent to EWM for the component request, and then the warehouse operator will go into the EWM system, or probably into the warehouse, and then he will pick the material and then bring it to the production supply area or production sites to
hmm,
manufacture those materials. So that is the approach. Okay, so how
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah,
in EWM, how we are doing the production integration. And but two approaches we generally use: one is the delivery based, another is the advanced production integration. We'll look into that detail. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
there is another important point, that is quality inspection. How the
yeah,
quality inspection work. Okay, so we need to perform some setups, okay, for EWM in quality, for quality inspections. Okay, likewise, I said that whenever I want to do any production, means good receipt, then I bring the
yeah,
material to the initial staging area, and then from there I
staging
move it to
area
the
and then
quality inspection. So generally
quality
for this
inspection.
quality, yes, quality inspection, we call it as work centers, means a different stores kind of
Yeah,
activities.
hmm,
So we
yeah,
define the work centers and how. So the moment it will go for quality, the material goes for quality, it will not bring the material back in ECC like QA11, from where we process those quality inspections and all activities.
hmm,
So I'll show in detail. It's a little puzzly, but yes, once you go into the process, you will catch up very easily, because
yeah,
there is
yeah,
a ping pong between ECC and EWM. Same is for S4
hmm,
HANA also. Okay. So
okay,
once you
okay,
go into the S4 HANA T codes, and then you come again into the ECC T codes to perform certain activity, and then you again go to S4 HANA ET codes. Likewise, it works.
okay,
Okay. But
hmm,
yes, it's easy once you go into this actual process.
yeah.
Then
So,
we yes, you have any points or question?
yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
that's actually in every topic you have written quick recap 20 minutes, quick recap 20 minutes. You have
Yes.
written that. That's for recapping now or later in the course.
Later in the course. So like
Just for 20 minutes, you are going to take up that.
yeah, before starting anything, okay, we'll take 20 minutes recap for whatever the course we have not finished previously. Okay, so suppose
Okay,
yesterday
okay.
we have finished unit 1 to 3, like quality
Yeah,
inspection.
yeah,
So before
yeah.
starting this
Quality.
unit 2, we'll spend
20
some
minutes recap. Okay.
yeah,
Let,
15 to
yeah,
20 minutes recap based on the requirements. Okay, if you do not want recap, then we can finish within 5 minutes also, 5 to 10 minutes.
yeah,
But it's
yeah, yeah.
good if we can do the recaps. Okay,
Yes,
so you may
yes.
be having few questions, or I generally find it easy to
Hmm.
have recaps and all, so that we can remind the things easily.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Then on day 15th and 16th, we will be covering on this value added services process. As I said that once we do the good receipt, and once we move to the quality inspection, before moving the material to the final storage bin, we basically
Hmm.
perform the value added services. Okay, where the company is
Yeah,
basically doing some like, I bring the material from some other vendor, but I'm doing some oiling or packaging or labeling kind of. Okay, so
hmm,
that it's now on the name of my company. Before selling it to customer, I'm just stamping my
yeah,
company name, and then I can sell it to customers. So likewise, this value added services is how this process works. Okay, then cross
yeah,
docking. So like there are few warehouses where we are directly receiving the material and we are not storing those material, but based on
We
the
are sending
just-in-time concepts, we are sending the material right away. Okay. So
inbound to outbound
yes,
delivery.
yes, correct. Inbound to outbound. Then direct outbound delivery processes we have. Okay. So these three processes we will be covering in 2 days. Okay, because it will take time. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have another sessions on cartonization processes. Okay, so the
Mhm.
cartonization is generally I have not seen cartonization much in
Okay.
the companies
Yeah,
where I have
normally in
implemented.
railways and all, it will not be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yes, since it's a part of SAP course content, we'll cover this cartonization process. Like based on the packaging, the width, volume, dimension, the system will
Mhm.
automatically find out the means I have a handling unit or a pallet. Okay, so based on this pallet volume, height, dimension, width, volume, the system will not give us the idea that how many materials can be put into this and in what manner it should be put into this particular
Yeah.
palette. So to
Vertically or
optimize the
horizontally. Horizontally.
yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Mhm.
So to optimize the way we are putting the material in the palette, that is basically the cartonization. Cartons,
Mhm.
how we are not setting up the cartons, or
We
how we are
normally
doing
call it
the
as a palletization.
palletization. Yes, you can say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Palletization. That process is going on in our warehouse now.
Okay. Okay.
Palletization.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have
Yeah.
yard management processes.
Yard management. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it called DMS?
DMS.
DMS. Yeah. DMS is actually that's transportation between one company to the say our company is sending the material to the exact whomsoever required, like we are fulfilling the online orders. In
Mhm.
between online orders, uh, after picking, what will happen is that information will go to the third party logistics through DMS. DMS will come in between. DMS is a part of one software which is from the SAP itself.
Hmm.
That's what
Can
I
you
understood from. Yeah, maybe that.
can you please come
Yeah.
again with the process scenarios on this? Where
Uh,
one
uh,
part is.
once everything is picked and staged for outbound delivery,
Mhm.
before the outbound delivery, we will send that information. Whatsoever is staged, we will send
Oh,
that information.
then DMS is basically kind of document management system, is it?
Yeah, document management system. Yes, the document
Okay.
management system in
Okay.
SAP. That information will go to the third party logistics. Third party logistics will update and they will give the routing. Based on the routing, it will go.
Mm. Mhm.
Based on the routing. Oh, maybe that one or no, this is something
No,
different.
that is different. Yeah, that is
That is
different.
different, and this one is yard
Yes,
management is different. Yard
yes. Yard
management is
management is that
whatsoever
how
is
we
there
are.
in the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How many trucks are there and which door it has
Yes,
to come and which door it
yes,
has to
yes.
go. Okay,
Yes, that
that's
is
yard
yard
management.
management. So how we are managing our yard? Because before coming the material or before and allowing the truck into the into the warehouse or to the doors, there
Yeah,
are a lot of trucks that are not standing out there. But we cannot
yeah,
entertain each and every truck. So to perform
yeah,
or to manage all those trucks, okay, how many trucks can
yeah,
come, which truck can come at what time, okay, which door it will
yeah,
go, okay, how many time or what is the time allowed for a truck to stand over there, okay,
yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
door for
Yeah,
like
yeah. I know. I
good,
understood.
yeah.
Actually, here it's
So,
the trailer, not the truck.
yes. So that is basically the yard management process.
Yeah,
Then we
yeah,
have
yeah,
the transport unit process also. That whenever we are doing the outbound deliveries, if we have the transportation unit like trucks, we want to
yeah.
put the material into the truck and then it will do the good issues. Okay.
Mhm.
Then we can use the transportation units also. It's not the transportation management system, but it's a
Yeah.
transportation unit. Okay, we are
Okay.
putting the materials.
TU.
TU.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Creating the
Then
TU and assigning the
yes,
TU, HUs to TU.
Mhm.
That's the thing, right?
Yes. So before
Mm.
doing any good issues, what we do, we basically assign a TU to a
TU. Yeah,
material. Okay, and
yeah,
then once the TU is assigned, then only we can perform the good issue. Okay. So within that TU, basically, identify that how many handling units we have or how many pallets we are not sending in that particular TU. So all that records we have in the system.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yeah.
So that is the TU part, and then we have this distance calculator. To be on the honest note, I have not worked on this distance calculator before, but yes, we can cover on the overview of what is this distance calculator. Okay, and we'll go into the system.
Actually, maybe. Sorry, like within the warehouse, if the product is coming from different locations, how much time it will take to reach to
Yes.
the door?
Yes.
Which is
That
centralized. Okay.
Yeah. So that is basically use of this distance calculator. Then we have mobile devices also, RFID devices, that how we can connect with RF devices in this.
RF devices.
Yes. Then resource management we have. Okay. That is also comes under the RF devices only, that we generally uses in the RF devices only. Okay. Then we have an overview of MFS. That how the MFS, you have that MFS implemented in your warehouse.
MFS means what is the long form of MFS?
It's basically a kind of conveyor systems. Have you seen Amazon clips? How the Amazon warehouse works?
So that's what I said. Actually, in our one warehouse, they are using the Manhattan warehouse management. In Manhattan warehouse management, they have the conveyor system. But the conveyor system, wherever they have conveyor system, there they use the Manhattan, not the SAP.
Okay. Because it's basically a material flow system, you can say. How the material is flowing within the warehouse.
Material flow system. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So generally, in one of our warehouse, we are using this material flow system. So we have the conveyor systems. Okay. So it's basically kind of, you can say,
after the
inbound and outbound flows only we are tracking with that. Okay. So if the moment I receive the material, I'll put it on the conveyor belt, and then based on the different strategies, okay, and the aisle settlement and all this, it basically pick the aisles and then move it into the storage bin based on that.
Storage bin or outbound?
Storage bin. No. First, in our warehouse, what we are doing, we are receiving the materials, we are putting the materials on the conveyor, then based on the different aisle strategies and other things, it will go to that respective aisles, and then we have the lifts over there. The lift will pick that material, or you can say robots also. Okay, robots will pick that material and then go into the very narrow aisles, okay, and then place the material over there. So we can place the material, and then once we receive a customer request, then again, that robot will goes into that narrow aisles, pick that material and then put it back on the conveyor, and then on the conveyor the material will flow and reaches to the packaging stations, where the people will not pack the material and then send it to the final customer. So likewise, so that is basically material process overview.
In Walmart that system is there. I have seen. I have seen in Walmart. Walmart they have, and even in Staples they have Staples.
Generally, this MFS, we have separate consultants. Generally, for EWM, we do not have such consultants, because MFS is quite technical, because we need to integrate with other devices, robots and all. So we have different consultants for this MFS. Then we have serialization. Okay, serialization concept is there in EWM, so we'll look into that. Then kitting process. Kitting is quite similar to what we look into the value-added services.
Okay.
So it's quite similar to whatever the process we perform in value-added services, the same process we basically use for kitting also. Okay.
Maybe for storing purpose.
Yes, but definition of both the things are little different. Okay, so we'll look into that. What is that definition? Okay, kitting is more related to the production. Okay, and value added is more. Value added is more related to the labeling of things and packaging before sending the material to the customer. We are receiving a material from vendor, so we cannot sell the customer on the vendor's name, right? That we have received the vendor material.
We have to label it and all.
Yes. So that is basically the warehouse with that. What we say?
Value-added services.
Value-added. Yes. So but in EWM the process is almost same for both. So that is the thing.
Okay.
Then we have labor management system. Okay, that how the labor works and all. So
Yeah,
we will
yeah,
look into that in detail.
yeah.
And that is only the last topic of EWM.
Oh,
Though
this is the
there are no
last
lot,
topic. Okay.
yeah, a lot of topics we have in
Yes.
EWM, but yes, this is the last. And as per the
Okay.
SAP course content, you can see these are the topics. Okay, that SAP basically look during
Mm-hmm.
the certification. That
Okay.
you can check. Yes.
Okay. Okay. 12%, and the major portion is first six. First six is 12%. Then onwards, it will be 8%. Okay.
Yes.
So based on this, actually, you are going to tell us, and so are you going to give any study material or something for this SAP study material?
Yes. 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 Study material you will get. Yeah.
Which one? SAP study material or what?
SAP only. Yes. SAP.
Okay. With the exercises to do on our own.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because if he doesn't do that, then obviously I don't think we can crash that. We can clear that SAP exam, certification exam.
Yeah, now
Okay.
nowadays it's not it's very easy nowadays to crack the
Okay.
certification. Okay, there are a lot of no other things that you can get to clear the certification. But there's a difference between to clear the certification and to get the knowledge. Okay,
Yeah, that's true.
even
That's true. But
yeah, even you get
based
yeah
sorry,
yeah.
based
But
on certification only, we will get into the jobs. That is a problem.
yeah, you can get into the job, but once suppose you get into the job and then your management says that no, go to that particular site and start implementing the things. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
damn
yeah.
sure that
Then the
no
problem.
people cannot do that,
That's
because
true.
once you look into the system, you will know lost in in the system, that how the system works, because it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
not as simple as no warehouse management system, ECC warehouse management. It's quite tough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
You said you are going to take the classes for 20 days, right?
20 days, yes.
20 days, and each class will be how many? How much? 1 hour or
Starting
2 hours?
it will be no starting 1 or 2 session, it will be 1 hour, then gradually I'll
Okay.
increase to 1.5 hours. Sometimes it will be 2 hours also. Okay, because
Okay.
we have no some complex processes, or say complex, I mean, means it's little lengthy. It's not complex based on the
Mhm.
understanding. You can understand the things quite well, because you are already now away from the stores and other activities. Okay, so it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not difficult for you at all. Okay, it's quite easy for you to relate the things. Okay,
Yeah.
but from the system point of view, there are different activities that will be I would say it's first time for you to that you have seen that. Okay, so it will be
Mhm. Little
it's
tougher actually for the
yes.
newcomer. Actually, it's not that much easy.
Yes,
If they
yes,
doesn't know about the outbound or inbound, or if they doesn't know about the racking, if they doesn't know about the
yes, yes, yes.
okay.
I'm not sure that why some of the trainers say that no EWM, anybody can go and pick EWM. It's not domain specific.
Just
I would always say that it's always good if people have no WM knowledge for EWM.
yeah,
It's
WM
it's
knowledge.
very
Otherwise, at
yes,
least that they
it's
have.
very easy for
Yeah,
them to
yeah, yeah.
relate the things. They don't know what
That's
is
right.
VAS. They don't know how the quality inspection works. They don't know what is
Yes, yes,
racks.
yes.
They don't know what is
Yeah,
high
yeah.
rack. Okay, what is bulk rack.
High rack or
How they
something.
can,
That's
yeah,
right.
how they can differentiate them. If
Yeah,
your customer is standing in front of you and they will not say that this is my high rack, this is my bulk storage. They'll say that this is my setup. How you can improve the things.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and now from past 6 months, actually, I'm working in that particular location. Then actually, after coming to this location, they're using the SAP and the racking system and bulk area, and
Hmm.
this processes, everything is there. That's why I came to know. Otherwise, before I doesn't know this much.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, at that
So
time
that
I was
that's good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what actually after doing. So, what do you think based on my experience, whatever you grasped? How many days I have to work on to get for the certification or something after the course?
See,
Or
it's if you want me to suggest or advise, just first go with the process knowledge. Okay, it's
yeah,
it will take little time for you, like 20 or 25 days to spend on the system. Okay, to spend on the processes. So once you
okay,
understand the processes, it's very cakewalk for you to go with the SAP certifications. That is, I'm damn sure. Okay. So once you get into the system, you start understanding the system. Okay. Then after that, once you start reading the book, that SAP book. Okay, it's very easy for you. It's very easy.
Okay. So for 20 days you're going giving the sessions, but what about the system access? System access for how long?
System access you will get. Okay, so you can check Subbu also on this. Okay. So he can help you in that system access.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Nitin. Actually, got
that's all about me here.
Yeah. Really nice. I was looking the same thing actually. The thing whatever you taught, everything, because since you have the experience in the same line and you implemented a lot of implementations from past 11 years, so it will be definitely add some. But the thing is, actually, you have a lot in European markets, not in North America. I think that's what you mentioned. Sweden, China.
North America, Sweden, China, European markets, okay, Indian markets, but not in US. I would say Germany also have done implementation.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. Little bit the one and the same. Actually, the product itself is from European market. SAP product itself is from the European market. Then obviously you worked in the
So I worked for Smith and Nephew. That is basically a US and UK based manufacturing company. But I generally never prefer the time zones, okay, because generally I need to work at night. So I never prefer to join US projects.
US project is totally actually say about if it is 10 o'clock over there, 10 o'clock night you have to start there in India. That will be little hectic actually. Every day we can't do the same job in the nights by leaving the family and all.
Yes. That's why I left the company, and then I joined another company who generally works in the European project, because that I can not manage easily. But no, to work every day night, okay, if it is a matter of a month or 2 months based on some hypercare support and all, that is okay. But
that's true.
I cannot work for years.
Years in there.
In such time zones. So that's why I generally prefer European markets.
So, are you basically from the IT background, like your education background?
Yeah, I done my education. Okay, so I've done my engineering in IT. Okay, prior to that, I was into ERP company only, but that was not into SAP. They generate their own, or they implement their own ERP setups. So I've done my engineering in computers, then done my MBA in IT and supply chain, management, and then I
supply chain IT.
Yes, IT and supply chain. Yes. So then
IT supply chain is different. Okay.
Yeah,
I have done my supply chain management.
Okay, that's good. So it's basically a combination of within my MBA course curriculum, we have this SAP also. So I've done SAP MM, SD, and some part of FI in my MBA course.
Okay. Yeah.
And then from there, I know these courses excite me. That's why I choose this SAP career, and then I join SAP company.
Okay. Yeah.
L&T Larsen and Toubro was my first company. I joined as a SAP consultant.
Yeah. I'm working for the Home Depot. The name of the company itself is called Home Depot. That one is a North American company located in Seattle, USA.
But you are in Canada, right?
I am in Canada. Yeah.
So you support US time zone, right? So is there any difference between? Okay.
That one is actually, our company is having a lot of stores in each country. In the US itself, they have say about 300 to 400 stores, and in Canada, say about 136 stores. I am working in DC in the inventory control for supporting online orders to customers.
Okay, got it. Okay.
In DC. That's the reason. Actually, there I have seen. Before I thought of going to but I don't know how to. I learned everything, but I came back to India and I was doing the business over there till 2017. Then again, I moved to Canada.
Okay, that's great.
So
That's great.
I had a citizenship, everything, and I saw people, those who doesn't have anything, are moving from this country to Canada and USA. I have the citizenship, what I'm doing for my children education and all that. There, I thought.
Yes,
That's why I came here again. Yeah.
That's
Okay, Nitin.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay, Raghu. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Nice.
Yeah.